Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to be with you today. And of course, I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't try to tempt you with a brand new Supra.
The new Toyota invention is set to catch the world of electric cars by surprise. Hop on this exciting ride, and let's see what they have in stock, as Toyota reveals an engine that could end the electric vehicle industry. The evolution of cars. For over 130 years, cars have consistently evolved as every manufacturer keeps looking for ways to make things better and easier. Maybe make some more bucks, too. Over the years, vehicles have gone from using diesel to petrol. And right now, combustion engine cars are now being replaced with the electric ones. With that, so many car manufacturers have not been able to keep up with the new revolution. And it looks like some of the old guys seem to be falling behind so fast. Talk of manufacturers like Toyota, which has remained on top of the scoreboard for years, being swept aside by the newbies of the electric car industry. However, as one of the leading car manufacturers that have existed for a long time, Toyota may have a pleasant surprise for the electric car industry, and it's about to be a showdown. At a briefing in Japan, Toyota's Chief Technology Officer, Hiroki Nakajima, explained how the entire team has been working overtime just to set a trend in the industry.
車の知能化を体験いただける実写やデモをご用意しておりますので。
The company is looking forward to regaining their spot on top of the market, with a mind-boggling engine that not only gives car users a befitting alternative to electric cars, but also promises ease and better reliability. So you can say that with this new invention, Toyota is about to give the world some value for their money, and probably show the electric guys who is boss. Right now, the most fascinating king of automobiles has been electric cars. With Elon Musk flexing his muscles with Tesla, the world may go electric cars or nothing soon. In fact, quite a number of car manufacturers have declared that in the next few decades, they may have to go fully electric. But, being a pro in the game, Toyota's CEO doesn't seem to care so much about the new wave of electric cars, and he has taken his innovations a step further. The company had the world at a standstill with the announcement of their new engine, which only needs water to run. Yep, you heard that right. Toyota is saying, forget about petrol and electricity. Just pour in a bottle of water and you can travel 1,000,000 miles. Of course, it sounds unbelievable, but come to think of it, how cool will it be that you can go on a road cruise without having to worry about fuel? You bet everyone wants that. But, in the real sense, I guess the idea of a car powered by water is just out of this world. I mean, anyone would question the possibility of a car running fully on water. However, Toyota seems to have cracked the chemistry thingy, and the mechanism behind their new engine is quite laudable. Call it the perfect example of thinking outside the box. The mechanism of hydro-powered cars. Shortly after they made their announcement, Toyota sounded like a jester to some scientists who seem to think that there is no way energy could be extracted from water, or at least enough energy to move a car. But don't forget, Toyota is not totally new to the innovation game. In fact, Toyota has invested immensely in hydrogen fuel cell technology for over 2 decades. In 2014, they introduced the Mirai, the world's first mass-produced hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicle. And since then, it has undergone numerous updates and improvements. So, when they announced the water car, they were not just babbling. Though there were naysayers who thought it was impossible, Toyota came up with the new hydro-powered engine that generates energy using the principle of electrolysis. The system of electrolysis has a negative and positive pole called the anode and cathode. Since water contains 2 molecules of hydrogen and 1 molecule of oxygen, the cathode attracts the hydrogen molecules while the anode attracts the oxygen molecules. And, after the separation is complete, the hydrogen molecules go through other processes, and then it turns to a gas, which serves as fuel for the engine. Okay, that seems like a long process, right? But in case it sounds a little too complicated, the hydro-powered engine simply has a system that can process water. The water just goes through a process which helps to sieve out the hydrogen molecules and turn it to gas, since that's what the engine really needs. So, after the system splits the water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen, the hydrogen gas sets the vehicle in motion, while the oxygen is expelled from the engine. Why hydrogen? Well, you might be wondering why the manufacturers decide to choose hydrogen as a fuel. Here you have the answer. Hydrogen has a great potential as a clean energy source, and it's that simple. When hydrogen is used as fuel or in combustion engines, it burns very fast, and the only end product would be water vapor. This means that it could be one of the fastest, safest, and most reliable alternatives to the standard fuels we're all used to. So, this would be that Toyota is not only trying to make money or provide luxury for those who can afford it. The company is also working towards offering value to the world at large and making the world a safe place while at that. Also, unlike the electric car folks, the company's investment in the research and development of hydrogen-powered vehicles is not only limited to small cars or passenger vehicles. Toyota has chosen to include the hydrogen technology in commercial vehicles so as to provide solutions in the public transportation systems as well. Talk of a company that really strives to make a change. How cool is that? How is it better than electric cars? Now, we know why hydrogen was a good pick for Toyota, right? But, just in case you're wondering how effective or efficient the hydrogen gas would be, here's the shocking part. Hydrogen has a very high energy density, which means that it can produce more energy compared to the standard petrol or diesel. Just imagine that a gallon of water actually takes you farther than a gallon of petrol would. You know what that means? Little or no worry about refueling or recharging your car over a long distance. Well, even if you ever need to refuel your hydro-powered car, getting some water around should not be that difficult, right? But that's not all. Toyota takes this up a notch by creating a system which can store hydrogen gas, and that just makes it all make sense. I mean, it shows that you may never have to worry about getting stuck in the middle of nowhere with an empty car tank and no hope of refueling or recharging. It's even a big advantage over electric cars because, while the electric car folks are busy looking for the next charging station, the hydro-powered engine keeps revving without fail. Come to think of it, this is one advantage that makes Toyota's new engine a commendable and befitting alternative to the electric cars, which seemed like the height of convenience until now. In fact, before bringing their idea to the public, Toyota did their thing and found out that approximately 1 billion people around the world do not have access to electricity. So it means that percentage of the world's population may never get to experience what driving an electric car feels like. However, a larger percentage of people all over the world have access to water, and this makes Toyota's hydro-powered engine a dream come true for a lot of people around the world. Also, due to the unique nature of hydrogen, it burns faster than petrol and diesel when used as fuel, and this makes it way out of the league of most of the conventional cars around. So, in this case, putting a car driven by the new Toyota hydro-powered engine on a racing track with some other combustion engine vehicles would be like fixing a snail and a squirrel as opponents in a racing tournament. And in this case, the slow and the steady is definitely not winning the race. What that just means is that the new Toyota engine will sit gallantly in the midst of the fastest cars in the world. In fact, it could pass as a race car because it also has the same speed agility and produces better horsepower when compared with some race cars. The fast combustion nature of the hydrogen gas also contributes to the fast responsiveness of the new Toyota engine, and it also produces the coolest engine sound. You can say that it has the performances of a beast, but the voice of an angel. So, you can be cruising the city at a very high speed, and your car makes no sound. How good is that? Yeah, it's all thanks to the hydrogen-powered engine. Environmental impact. Toyota's hydrogen-powered car can replicate all the interesting characteristics you can ever think of because it uses a cleaner fuel source. So, it is not inferior to the conventional vehicles that have preceded it. In fact, the cleaner fuel source is the reason why it stands above other conventional cars. Now, one characteristic that makes it even better is the positive impact it has on the environment. The topic of environmental pollution and degradation, which is caused by the use of standard gasoline in vehicles, has been a debate for a while now. A lot of changes in our environment has been linked to this. And this is why manufacturers like Toyota keep striving to come up with safer alternatives. Okay, let's break this down a little. In the use of standard petrol or diesel, the combustion process of the fuel ends in the emission of carbon monoxide, a gas which is responsible for a ton of diseases when inhaled. As the years go by, this toxic gas builds up in the body until it becomes wild. On a larger scale, this toxic gas is also responsible for the depletion of the ozone layer, the protective covering that shields us from the harmful impact of the sun. Just imagine how your 20 minutes road cruise in your combustion engine vehicle contributes to the depletion of the Earth's protective shield and the resultant effect of that depletion. Now, imagine how the whole world could change for the better if we all have access to cars that promise no negative effect on our environment. Yep, that is exactly what Toyota did with this innovation. Since the hydro-powered engine makes use of water and only extracts the hydrogen gas that it needs, the end result of the combustion is really impressive. Instead of harmful gas being released, the end product of the combustion is water vapor, which is released into the atmosphere. In some way, this water vapor which is emitted into the atmosphere may not really have any positive input to the environment, but it obviously does not have any negative impact on the environment as well. And, thinking about it, the water vapor which is released may even be useful for the microbes that we have around us, and even the plants, too. Who knows? Toyota just may have the best surprise hidden in this innovation, and we may not know how much this new project will impact life on our planet until we all have access to it. Is hydro-powered engine all there is? Talking about impacting life on our planet, it is obvious that Toyota is trying to achieve carbon neutrality while striving to regain their position as the industry's giant, but is their new hydrogen technology really enough to get the work done? We can say that Toyota also knows this, and the company has looked into it. Firstly, as good as the hydro-powered engine technology is, it would not be without its own shortcomings. A lot of people have been concerned about the longevity of the engines, and while Toyota promises the best quality, there is no doubt that the hydro-powered engines may not really be up to expectations. Many critics believe that weather could be a major constraint. I mean, if car users will have to fuel their cars with water, then the extremely cold regions may not be a really cool place to use this invention. Before you know it, every drop of water in the engine may freeze overnight, and the car becomes completely useless. Or, even worse, the shortage of water during the extremely cold periods could be a problem. What do car owners do when all water sources are frozen and there is shortage of water to fuel their cars? Well, Toyota seems to have a solution to this anyway. There is a way that hydrogen gas can be used directly instead of water. That makes some sense, but with that solution comes another problem. If there is any major limitation that the hydrogen engine industry faces, it is the need for more infrastructure to support the use of hydrogen as fuel. This industry which Toyota has ventured into is one that needs to catch up with the gasoline and electric vehicle industry, which are already well established and thriving. Also, hydrogen requires specialized storage and distribution systems due to its high flammability and low density. So, creating a widespread and accessible hydrogen refueling network may need a whole lot of investment and coordination. Due to hydrogen's high flammability and low density, safety also becomes an issue. I mean, if this hydrogen technology eventually becomes widespread, it may end up being a risky venture. However, Toyota seems to be tackling these potential issues through engineering and strict safety protocols. Right now, the company is developing large container systems for storing hydrogen fuel and advanced sensor technology to detect leaks or prevent accidents. Well, the Toyota brand really seems to be on their toes, but there's still a lot more work to be done to guarantee safety. I mean, ensuring public safety is not all about making rules or developing containers. People also have to be educated on safe handling practices. In fact, this training is the most important with hydrogen because it can pose risks if mishandled. Everyone must understand how to safely store, transport, and use hydrogen to minimize accidents and reduce risks attached to the mishandling of the gas. So, if anyone would purchase this hydro-powered car, does that mean they also have to go through months and months of training before they can learn to properly use it? Well, maybe it would be worth it in the end, or maybe not. However, as a pro in the industry, trust Toyota to have recognized some, or even all, of the limitations that may come with focusing on a single technology, especially one that is a new invention. So, while they keep developing their hydro-powered engines and looking for ways to make things better and more foolproof, Toyota has not completely thrown the idea of electric cars into the bin. They have embraced electric vehicle technology and are still very much active in that industry, though they seem to be doing things a little differently. The main aim of the Toyota brand in the electric car industry is to develop battery electric vehicles that will be an upgrade to the ones we have right now. I mean, Toyota just has to stand out and provide solutions, right? So, to the development of their battery electric vehicles, they have devised their own methods and come up with a totally different approach than other electric vehicle manufacturers, especially the leading brands that seem to be focused entirely on just one particular type of electric cars. In order to make things work for them, Toyota came up with certain strategies which consider the challenges and shortcomings of particular types of electric cars which have been widely adopted. These include the limited range, long charging times for the electric cars, as well as the impact of battery production and disposal on the environment. However, to tackle these problems, which they have discovered in the electric car industry, Toyota has offered various mind-blowing options, most of which are still new innovations. The most common of these innovations is the blend of both hydro-powered engine and an electric battery cell engine. So, the company is not only focused on water-powered engines, it's also exploring hybrid and fuel cell technologies just to demonstrate its commitment to sustainability. With this incredible idea, Toyota stands a step above others in the electric vehicle industry, and the company aims to cater to a wider range of customer needs and driving conditions. With their approach to the new inventions, Toyota will be able to achieve their big goal, which is carbon neutrality, and still set the pace for other automotive manufacturers. However, Toyota is not only invested in the technology aspect of their ideas. As one of the big fish in the industry, Toyota has managed the other aspects of their innovations well. And what that means is that the brand understood that different regions and markets use different energy sources, infrastructure, and environmental policies. So, Toyota has done a good job, and in their research, Toyota realized that a one-size-fits-all approach may not be as useful and will definitely not work in achieving the carbon neutrality, which seems to be the end goal. That said, Toyota's innovations in the coming days may be tailored to several regions as their policies permit. Carbon neutrality goal. Toyota has shown that the goal is not only to make money off people or just sell tons of cars and stay on top of the chart. The brand has an unwavering dedication to carbon neutrality. And this is why we, the company, came up with such an idea as an hydro-powered vehicle and lots more. However, this dedication to carbon neutrality extends beyond reducing vehicle emissions as the electric car industry aims. Toyota actively participates in several initiatives to reduce the carbon footprint, which is produced from their manufacturing processes. The company also advocates for recycling and resource efficiency while investing in renewable energy projects to accomplish this. Talk of a company that literally rolls off their sleeves and gets their hands dirty. However, more work can still be done to achieve the incredible goal of carbon neutrality. To understand the impact of Toyota's strategy, one has to look at the bigger picture and also be aware of the numerous changes needed to achieve a carbon-neutral society. And this does not only apply to vehicle technology, but also to energy production. Toyota seems to understand this very much, and that's why they put measures in place even as they work tirelessly to achieve this goal. So, as they try to achieve the goal of carbon neutrality with their hydro-powered and hybrid engines, they may be walking up the ladder of the automotive industry soon. I mean, their innovation is about to solve problems, create value, and also earn them back their kingship in the world of automobiles. And that's about killing 2, or even 3, birds with one stone. Alright, this is where we bring this thought-provoking topic to a close. What do you think about this innovation by Toyota? Do you think hydrogen technology is something that can be sustained? Will it really be the end of the electric car industry? Let us have your thoughts and feedback in the comments.